Hey YouTube, what's happening? Chris here. Want to bring you all an update on Litecoin, Bitcoin, the pairing. We may do Litecoin USD later today if I get time for it, but right now, guys, we're just going to look at the LTC BTC pair. And there's some things I want to show you, some things I'm seeing, and I also want to see if you all are seeing them as well. If you could like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I really appreciate each and every one of you. You guys been doing awesome for this channel, and hopefully you've been getting some from it. My wife just recently, last night, got me the Encyclopedia of Chart Patterns, guys, by Thomas Bulkowski. It was a surprise. It was out of nowhere. All of a sudden, I opened up a book from the mail, and it was the Encyclopedia of Chart Patterns. It's 1,000 pages by Thomas Bulkowski, who's basically the Jedi Master of trading. And, you know, he really got into it. He was a civil engineer in his earlier days, and at 36 he really got into trading, and he just fell in love with it. And that's what's been happening to me, guys. I just continuously want to study and learn. So today I had to go get my infusion for my disease, and I brought that book with me, and I was able to really pin down and study about broadening bottoms. So be looking out for a video on broadening bottoms. We're going to be going through that, and we're going to be looking at all the percentages, the success rate of them, the failure rate, success rate in bull markets versus bear markets, fake outs, all different types of things, guys, broken patterns. It's amazing. He devotes probably about 12 to 15 pages per chart pattern on all the information. He's basically gathered thousands and thousands of chart patterns and broke them down into all the percentages, so you know how often they succeed and how often they fail. So it was just incredible reading some of that today. So I'm excited to start sharing some of that with you, but we're going to dig into LTC BTC right now. Alright, guys, so right now we're at 0.0142. We're down 1.95%. And what you've seen is this rounded bottom that's taken place now. We're on the one-day chart. This has taken place, and this has taken place, really started around like October here. Obviously, we were having this downtrend, then we kind of popped back up. So around October to this area, and that's about the time frame. Typically, rounded bottoms are between 7 weeks and 62 weeks in the formation of them. That's what my book was saying today when I was reading a little bit about those as well, just looking at the percentages, and that's about what it is. So this would definitely qualify. And guys, I still wouldn't be surprised if we had a little pullback down into this area before we continue to move higher, because this is strong overhead resistance here in red that I put for you guys. And what we have here, we pulled from our high to our low. So this reaction after this fall, we got up through the 0.382, but we have not been able to get up past this 50, and that's also heavy resistance right over here. If you can see all this choppiness that we had here, so that's going to be heavy overhead resistance, and we're also putting on tweezer tops right here above that 0.382. So if we were to lose that, we would potentially come down here. We'd look to see if we could get support off this green moving average, this 20 EMA, and then it'd be perfect right down in here off this 50 moving average, and also the 0.236 of this move, this reaction. We would want to see support on top of that. We wouldn't want to fall back through that. And you can see all the moving averages now are starting to point to the upside side. They're starting to curl up, which is great. And you're seeing all these golden crosses take place. You're seeing the 100 cross over the 200 down in here. All these great things that are leading to continuation, but I just feel like we need that nice pullback so that we can power up through this big overhead resistance zone right here. Because guys, with putting in tweezer tops, that means we tried twice there and we were rejected. See this? Right there. See those tweezer tops? So we kept trying to climb, and then we got rejected and we got pushed back down. Now we're somewhat trying to find support around this 0.382. So let's see if we get support off that, or if we're going to break down through that and start testing this area down in here, this channel, for a potential bounce move to the upside. Now, in terms of bullishness, what I've been so excited about is this right here. Guys, these higher lows that have put in this long-term, or we would say intermediate to long-term uptrend now that you've had of these lower highs. And excuse me, guys, let me shut the door real quick. Sorry about that. My dog pushed the door open and the TV was on. So what you're seeing here, though, is that this trend line is what we would ultimately need to hold. If we start having candle closes below this and we lost the 200-day moving average, that would be bad, guys. You would probably want to get out, just to let you know in terms of the LTC BTC. But right now everything's looking great. Just looks like we need a cool off because we shot up so hard so fast, and it's not on a ton of volume. If you look down here, we don't have a ton of volume, which we want. You see over here, look at all this volume, guys. When we really had that rocket ship up here, we had a nice, very nice move to the upside, but it wasn't accompanied by a ton of volume. So that was the RSI that way. And now what we're going to do, we're going to pull it this way. I'm going to clear off this red as well, like a nice clean chart. All right. So if this move, and this is just a rough estimate here, guys, just flowing with you right here. You see, I feel like we still need some more pullback. And remember, this isn't financial, I'm not your financial advisor, but I'm just looking, for us to be extremely bullish, we would bounce off this 0.236 and continue to move higher. But that's an extremely bullish case. Typically, you're going to have that pullback to the 0.382, the 0.5, or the 0.618, which would make sense. Even the 0.618 is around this 100-day moving average, so we'd want to find support there. Our 50 is close around this 50 moving average there. And then you can see right here, we're still trying to hold that 20 EMA, which we've talked about how powerful that 20 EMA is. See that, guys? Let me zoom in here. And for so long it was overhead just pushing us down, and now we have that move to the upside and we've been holding it. So ultimately that's what you want to look at first. See if we can find support off that. If we don't find support, work your way down to the 50 moving average here and also down around this area. And then I would just keep moving down. That's how you do it. And then to the upside, you look at all these different areas over here, guys, and then you just draw those overhead resistance levels. All right? But, with Litecoin, there's so many great things going on with it and so much adoption. I think it's going to continue to run, guys, but it needs that cooling off period. These are really strong moves to the upside, if you guys don't realize that. And if you throw on the RSI as well with this, and you start looking for divergences and different things like that. Let me see. Sorry about that. All right. So this is what you are seeing, though. Do you see how price is continuously moving up, but your RSI is actually going down? You draw a trend line here, just like that. And I'm sorry if things aren't precise, guys. I have a wireless mouse. I'm used to using my laptop, that scroll around thing, or the notepad, whatever it is on there. And I got this wireless mouse to hopefully move faster, but I still got to get used to it. But what you're seeing here is that push up in price, but you're having that divergence of your relative strength going down. So you always want to keep an eye on that as well. And we're at 64, so there's definitely more cooling off. We could come down here around that 50 and then start getting the bounce off that. Those are the type of things that I look for. I like trend lines. I like RSI. I love looking at the moving averages, candles, support, resistance, trend line breaks, all that type of stuff. That's what I'm going after, guys, and that's what I'm looking at. But I could just see a healthy pullback in the future for Litecoin, Bitcoin here coming up, just due to those tweezer tops. That's pretty significant. When you get rejected twice like that, and that's a shooting star candle, then you usually typically start getting pushed to the downside. And even here, guys, look, when we gap up and we really get pushed up there and we gap away from this 20 moving average, we seem to always pull back on it. So let's see if we pull back on it, which would be around that 0.0135, or if we're going to continue to go lower. But I just don't feel like we're going to push up much higher right now without that cool down. So guys, look out for some different tutorials in that Encyclopedia of Chart Patterns by Thomas Bulkowski. I'm thrilled about it. It's just so interesting to dig into all this stuff, and hope you all have been enjoying the tutorials, all those different things. So God bless each and every one of you. Let me know down low what you think, and just remember, guys, this was that change right there. The people who identify this change the fastest down in here are the ones who can reap that profit and that reward. You want to find the trends first: short term, intermediate term, longer term trends. God bless you all.